Chapter 4, Section 2. What the Invocations accomplish. But the objection is also made. The invocations are made as to gods that are impressionable beings, so that it is implied that not the daemons only are impressionable, but the gods likewise. This, however, is not as thou hast supposed, for the illumination which is present through the invocations is self-appearing and self-subsisting. It is also far removed from the being attracted downward, and goes forth into manifestation through the divine energy and perfection. And it excels voluntary choice and activity by so far as the divine purpose of the absolute goodness is superior to the deliberately chosen of life. By such a purpose, therefore, the gods, being gracious and propitious, give forth light abundantly to the Theurgists, both calling their souls upward into themselves, providing for them union to themselves in the chorus, and accustoming them, while they are still in the body, to hold themselves aloof from corporeal things, and likewise to be led up to their own eternal and noetic first cause. Footnote 10. Plato describes this chorus in the Phaedros. Divine beauty was then splendid to the view, says he, when we, in company with Zeus and others with other gods, beheld together with the blessed chorus the divine spectacle, and were initiated into the perfective rites, which are rightly called most happy. Being ourselves entire and unaffected by the evils which await us in the aftertime, we took part in the orgiac drama, and having become both mystics and beholders, mystae and apopte, we beheld in the pure light apparitions that were complete, unique, calm, and felicitous, being ourselves pure from earthly contamination and not encompassed in this investiture which we now call body, and by which we are carried about, fastened like an oyster to his shell. Footnote 11. Socrates, in his last discourse, remarks that while we live, we shall approach nearest to the superior knowledge if we hold no partnership with the body, except what absolute necessity requires, and do not permit ourselves to be tainted by its nature, but keep ourselves uncontaminated by it until God himself shall release us. This is what a later poet has portrayed as living above while in the world. From these performances, it is plain that what we are now discoursing about is the safe return of the soul. For while contemplating the blessed spectacles, the soul reciprocates another life, is linked with another energy, and rightly viewing the matter, it seems to be not even a human, for the most blessed energy of the gods. If indeed the upward way through the invocations effects for the priests a purifying of the passions, a release from the condition of generated life, and likewise a union to the divine first cause, why indeed does anyone impute to it any of the passion? For such invocation does not draw down beings that are impassive and pure to that which is susceptible and impure. On the contrary, it makes us who had become impressionable through the generated life pure and steadfast. Footnote 12. The dramas or performances of the mystic or theurgic rites and their ulterior significance are here denoted. The experiences of the soul and its return to the eternal world as it enters into the conditions of worldly existence. The Egyptian Book of the Dead treats of the same matters. Footnote 13. The histrionic scenes and ceremonies which were exhibited to the beholders of the rites. Footnote 14. The Chaldean oracles reiterates this sentiment. The soul of articulate speaking men will in some way bring God into itself, holding fellowship with nothing mortal. It is all intoxicated with God. Footnote 15. This is explained by the Hierophant in More's romance, The Epicurean. The aim of the initiation and blessed spectacle is thus set forth: to retrieve the ruin of the blessed soul, to clear away from around her the clouds of earth, and, restoring her lost wings, facilitate her return to heaven. Such is the great task of our religion, and such the triumph of those divine mysteries, in whose inmost depths the life and essence of our holy religion is treasured. On the other hand, even the favorable inclinations do not bring the priests into union with the gods through a passive condition, but they open the way for an indissoluble communion through the attraction which binds the universe together. It is by no means, as the term seems to imply, an inclining of the mind of the gods to human beings, but on the contrary, as the truth itself will teach, the adapting of the human intelligence to the participating of the gods, leading it upward to them, and bringing it into accord through persuasive harmonies. Hence, both the revered names of God and the other divine symbols, being of an elevating tendency, are able to connect through the invocation with the gods. Proclus also declares that the gods are readily persuaded by invocations and enable the initiant to behold perfect, tranquil, and genuine spectacles. Footnote 16. The names of the gods in the ancient Scythic and Euphratean languages were believed to possess some inherent virtue as well as charm. Hence, the oracle gives the injunction, "Never change the barbarous names, for among them are terms God-given that have ineffable virtue in sacred rites."